Alright, so since I started uploading Fortnite videos, the number one thing I've had requested to me is post me your controller settings. If you're new to my channel or you don't know what I play on the PlayStation 4. I always have. I've been playing since day one on the PS4 using the PS4 controller. Now, of course, throughout Fortnite's career, the controller settings have changed. We all had to use old school at the very start of the game, then Combat Pro came out, then Builder Pro came out, and now we are where we are today. And throughout that time, like I said, I've had probably thousands of comments on my videos saying, hey, what the heck are your settings because you have great aim? Now, I'm still tinkering around with these because we had that major controller update that totally messed with everyone's settings not too long ago. So prior to that, I had the slowest sensitivity in the world. And if you look at some of my videos from 1 or 2 years ago, you'll see it's just absolutely slow. And there's a reason for that. Now, I play on Combat Pro. And if you're thinking, well, he must be garbage if he still plays on Combat Pro, that's not true. Look at my win count here. I've got 536 solo wins. Now, I don't usually play duos that much, but I've got 281 duo wins. And then for squads, I'm only at 145 because that's my least favorite game mode. But 536 wins using Combat Pro. Now, I guess you could also be thinking, well, he probably got most of those in the first few seasons. That's probably a little bit true. But as you can see here, I just tweeted this out because I was super frustrated as I died to an RPG in a 1v1 situation and choked the match. But back-to-back 16-kill games, then a 7-kill win, and then, of course, the 8-kill choke job. So it's not like I'm terrible today using Combat Pro. A lot of people think that building and editing are the key factor to winning both gunfights as well as matches, but that's not true. Your aim is first and foremost the most important thing. And I'm walking proof of that. Combat Pro with a low sensitivity and I still have 536 solo wins? Come on. Still dropping 16 bombs back-to-back games, non-bot lobbies? That's crazy. And it's all due to my aim. I can't build for squat, I can't edit for squat, but I can aim. So I just wanted to vouch for my own statistics because people would be saying, well, why should we trust this guy? Who is this guy? He's not even good. I may not be that good, but I'm decent enough. So let's go into settings and I will show you what exactly I've got going on here. So this is mouse and keyboard. I've never used that in my life, so I don't know anything about that. We're going to skip right over that. Here we go. The controller options. So first of all, I have auto run off. I hate that. I think it messes up your gunfights, but a lot of people have that on. Now, of course, I have build immediately off because I don't use Builder Pro. So this one, the edit hold time, this is totally and completely up to you. This is my personal preference, 0.108 seconds. But again, it's up to you. If you're a great editor, you should probably lower this just a little bit more. Now, I like vibration on, so that's why I kept that on. Now, obviously, we can't edit the look and aim sensitivity. Actually, let me just go down. So I am on linear. There's two different ones you can pick from. And we used to have legacy, which is what I was totally used to. That's why I said I'm still messing with my own customized settings because I think I found the sweet spot, but I'm still working on it. But linear will help you in close quarters combat, especially with a shotgun and SMG. It'll tug on that aim assist. If someone's right next to you, like if they hop up and down, it'll track them with that strong aim assist. That's what linear does. However, at medium to long range, the aim assist is real bad. So it depends on what you want. If you're good at shooting people long distance with little aim assist and you struggle in close quarters, go with linear. Because like I said, that'll help in the shotgun and SMG scenarios. Now, exponential is like the opposite of that. If you want stronger aim assist on medium to long range combat, do exponential, but then you don't have as strong in close quarters. So it depends on your game style. I went with exponential for the longest time, but then I finally switched over to linear, and boy, does it take some getting used to. So if you try this right away and you're losing gunfights, just don't give up. Just keep trying it, and eventually you'll get the hang of it. But if you're a lesser skilled player, exponential is probably better for you. So for the build and edit sensitivity multiplier, I have these both on 2 times. And advanced options are on, yes. So here's the good stuff. The look sensitivity. So this obviously is how fast you can turn left and right and up and down. So if you want to get those YY fakey ladder shots going, you'll want this sky high. Now, it is important to whip around fast. If someone's shooting you up the butt, you want to whip around fast and either build or return fire. And if this is too low, you're not going to be able to do that. So I remember on the legacy settings, it was like 0 to 10, and I had mine at 2. And when I told people that, they were like, that's ridiculous. You should never have it that low. But back then, it really helped with your actual aim. So now, of course, they changed it all around. So I've got 22% for both left and right and up and down. That's horizontal and vertical. But again, you can mess with this however you want. It just all depends on how fast you turn around. This will not affect your ADS. That's aim down sight aiming. So if you like to hip fire or you like to hit those shotgun shots without ADSing, I wouldn't put this too high, because then a brief tap of that right analog stick will send your aim flying. So you got to be very careful with this. Just play around with it. 22% is what I like currently. But I also change this a lot as I go along. But this is what I'm sticking with right now. And if you do plan on changing this, just do little increments at a time so you can get used to it. Now the turning horizontal and vertical boost, I've got both at 16%. I don't think I messed with this. This may be the default, but I'm not really sure. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what the turning boost ramp time is. I think this was also the default 0.20. I don't know what this does, to be honest. I'll have to look into that, but that's what I left it at. And it looks like I have the instant boost when building off. I don't know if that's good or bad either. Okay, so here are the meat and potatoes of the aiming. Okay, so this is the advanced ADS, the aim down sight sensitivity. Now, a lot of people like this sky high. They want it cracked out of their minds. And that just means when you ADS or aim down sights, any touch of that right analog, the aiming stick, is going to go flying. And I personally can't do that. I think I had this on default over 15%, I think, and it was awful. I was missing all my shots. I couldn't do anything. So I lowered it exponentially. Look at this. I'm at 4% for both of these, 0% for the boost, and 0.20 for this last setting. So the lower this is, the slower you're going to move when you're aiming down sights. Now, if you're not used to this and you put it this low, you're going to probably not like it. Because as soon as you ADS and a target is in front of you, you're going to struggle. It almost feels like you're in slow motion. But that's what helps you lock onto your target and hit your shots. Now, if they're beat bopping and scatting all over you, jumping from left to right, yeah, you're going to struggle because you're going to be moving at grandpa speed. And they're just going to be flying all around and you're not going to be able to lock onto them. But nobody really does that. I mean, if you get into a fight, they're not really jumping all around. They're usually standing still and returning fire. But play around with this, in my opinion, as a controller player. The lower the percentage, the easier it is to hit your shots. I think those green bars are actually the default settings. So you can see just how much lower I put these. Let's see exactly what that is. Looks like, yeah, about 16%. I mean, try that and watch how hard it is to maintain your accuracy when you're ADS'd. And then go to my percentage, which is 4, and try that. It's much, much easier, and it doesn't affect your turnaround speed. Remember, that was up here where we have the 22%. But back in the day, this would also affect your turnaround. So I would really be at a disadvantage because I would have the low ADS time and then also the low turnaround time. So if someone flanked me from behind, there's no way I was going to turn around fast enough. I was like Grandpa Pro, inching my way slowly but surely around, and I would die if someone flanked me. It was awful. So now at least there's the settings where we can fix that. We can both turn around at crazy fast speeds and slow down our ADS when we aim down sights. Pretty sweet. Now the look dampening time, I have 0.20 seconds. I think that's default. Like I said, I use linear. Obviously you want your aim assist strength at 100%. Now the controller dead zones. Okay, so this is very important as well. The lower the percentage here, the more tug you get on the aim assist in close quarters. So if someone's right next to you and you have this sky high, you're not going to get much tug. And some people like that. But if you have it low like this, 10% and 5%, and some guy is just standing in front of you like an actual bot jumping up and down, you don't even have to touch your stick and your gun will literally track him up and down. So that's what dead zone does. But for some reason, if you put these too low, then you get drift. And if you don't know what drift is, it's where you don't touch your controller at all and your character will spin around slowly, but he still moves without you touching the controller. So you got to be careful with the settings. Oh yeah, it even says that setting this value too low may result in the camera continuing to move even after removing your finger from the stick. That's exactly what I said. So I found at 10% and 5%, it doesn't really do that. But again, you'll want to tinker with these and find your best settings. Now, I'm not sure what the foot controller is. What the heck? Okay, this must be if you're handicapped, I think. But yeah, I don't use a foot controller. That would be weird. No offense to anyone that does, of course. But those are my settings for that. So there you go. That's all my settings. Finally, after 2 or 3 years of millions of people asking me, I finally have shown you guys my exact settings. But again, don't think that you can just put my settings on and become an absolute beast at the game. It still requires practice. You have to get used to the settings. And like I said, if you want to change some of these, do them in small increments. The more that you increase or decrease them, the harder it is to adjust, to be honest. And again, don't let people convince you that building and editing is the key to winning matches in this game. I've got almost 1,000 wins using Combat Pro on slow sensitivities, and I win all the time. Aiming is key in this game, but you have to get your settings to where you're comfortable with them to be good at aiming to begin with. So using my settings may assist you, but you've got to put in the work and perfect them to do good at this game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A like is always appreciated. And don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator Code, which is Tabor time.